This time, I would like to reconvene the regular board meeting. Clerk of the board, please call roll.
Arencibia?
Present.
Emerald? Here. Lopez?
Here.
Lopez Zepeda?
Here.
Solis?
Present.
Aguirre?
Here.
Flores?
Here.
We will now hold a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance led by our school board, our student school board representative.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The board met in closed session preceding this meeting to discuss the following issues. 1, student expulsion, suspended expulsions, reinstatements. Education Code Section 48916-48918, students identified by case and ID number. 2, public employee evaluation, appointment transfer. Government Code Section 54957. 3, public employee discipline, dismissal, release. Government Code Section 54957. 4, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9. Conference with legal, 5, counsel with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9. 6, conference with labor negotiator, Government Code Section 54957.6. The board took the following action. Moved by Lopez, seconded by Lopez Cepeda, to approve the appointment of Jesus Ulloa as Director of Innovation and Pathway Development. With a vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Lopez, seconded by Lopez Cepeda, to approve the appointment of Travis Meisner as Director of Maintenance. With the vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Lopez, seconded by Lopez Cepeda, to approve the appointment of Easter Findley as Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction. With a vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Arencibia, seconded by Emerald, to deny the request for leave of absence for one certificated employee. With the vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Arencibia, seconded by Lopez, to approve the request for leave of absence for one certificated employee. With the vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Lopez Cepeda, seconded by Emerald, to approve the request of leave of absence for one certificated employee. With the vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. Moved by Lopez, seconded by Arencibia, to approve the request for the leave of absence for one certificated employee. With the vote of Arencibia, yes. Emerald, yes. Lopez, yes. Lopez Cepeda, yes. Solis, yes. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the April 20th, 2026 regular board meeting with the change that the board will consider board agenda item 05 before the first presentation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Flores?
Yes.
Arencibia?
Yes.
Emerald?
Yes.
Lopez?
Yes.
Lopez Zepeda?
Yes.
Solis?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, before our first presentation, I will ask the board to consider board agenda item 05, adopt resolution number 5024, designating the month of April 2026 as Donate Life Month. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second?
Flores?
Yes.
Arencibia?
Yes.
Emerald?
Yes.
Lopez?
Yes.
Lopez Zepeda?
Yes.
Solis?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
The board is pleased to welcome Christy Heyman from LifeSharing, who has a presentation for the board.
Hello, my name is Donna Saracho. Good afternoon. We meet again. So on behalf of our colleagues at LifeSharing, Christy Heyman, and all organ transplant recipients and donor families, we would like to thank you for recognizing, and Sweetwater for recognizing April as Donate Life Month. Our goal here is what we do is we raise awareness about organ, eye, and tissue donation. There are over 116,000 people that are waiting for an organ in order to survive. They're on that transplant list. And on a more centralized local perspective, over 2,000 of those people are just here in San Diego. That's alarming. It is quite a large number. California makes up of 20% of all the people nationwide that need a transplant in order to survive. Hispanics are 51% of that in San Diego. And our goal is we want to get people to be inspired through our stories to register as an organ donor. By doing that, we go ahead and it was all this whole Donate Life Month with our association with Sweetwater has been organized by Mr. Paul Woods. Paul Woods was the district architect here, and he is a life-sharing volunteer, and he received his left lung in 2013. And most recently, he received his right lung in 2024. So he'll be 70 next month. He's currently on a camping trip. And we always like to go ahead and pay homage to Paul, who kind of created this relationship every year for us, for you, and for this district. We like to continue that tradition. Who is LifeSharing, and who are we? Okay, we are a federally designated organ procurement program. We are the link between an organ donor and their wishes, and a transplant recipient, their family and their wishes. We kind of tie the whole thing, and we're involved in all aspects of transplant journey, whether it's through the donor's perspective or through the transplant recipients and their respective. It's a lot more than medical. It's really it's an emotional journey. It's a medical journey for sure, but there's a lot of other things that are associated with that. Life sharing kind of takes that all into consideration, and we handle that. We coordinate that. So through, more specifically with Sweetwater, we go through the schools here, and we present to the schools. And we talk to mainly biologies, anatomy classes. And if you look here, you'll see the schools that we have talked to. I have actually had the pleasure of talking to each and one of these schools at one point or another every time that I've spoken at for the district, and I do that proudly. I am a Southwest High graduate, so I won't tell you the year, but I am a high school. I'm a Southwest High School graduate, and if you see that first slide there, we've developed relationships with many of our teachers. That one here, this first one is Mr. Gervais and Ms. Bruce over at Bonita High School. Mr. Gervais was a kidney transplant recipient. So he also, I believe, presented maybe 1 or 2 years ago when he was either waiting or received his transplant. We've talked here through, you'll see Mrs. Villegas' classroom at Chula Vista High School. And through there, that's actually Ms. Ritza. She's actually a really good, we have her in our program every single year. So that's what we do. And we inspire these students to go ahead and make that decision when they go to the DMV. When they go to the DMV, my goal is to educate them in the 60 or 90 minutes that we have onto making a decision to be as effective for them as possible. So we want them to give them that information. And believe it or not, these kids have a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. They do. It's a very interactive association that we have with these students. And over the years, I think it's just been very fulfilling. My personal story to transplant life is 15 years ago. My daughter she was at Bonita, and she was playing softball, and I wasn't feeling all that great. In a nutshell, I had a reaction to a medication, and that medication put me into a coma. And I became one of those 116,000 people nationwide that needed an organ transplant to survive. And the days go by, and my window of opportunity is not looking good. And because of that, my liver had failed. All my other organs started to fail. And all she remembers from her story is that the doctor had basically said, your mom has 24 hours to live. And so what she does, she goes to school, they talk to the counselors, And then she goes to the funeral home. They talk to a mortuary counselor. 2 days later, she goes back into my room, and she sees Mom sitting in a chair. What she didn't know was that at 2 o'clock that following morning, my husband got a call saying, "We found a liver for Donna. We're going to operate on her, and she's going to live." So overnight, I became one of those people that became not one of the 22 people that passed away every day from not having a life-saving transplant. I became one of the 77 people nationwide in a matter of hours whose life was saved by an organ transplant. Now, that's not what brings me to talk to these kids and these teachers and talk to everybody. What my connection is that I find out later that my donor was an 18-year-old young man who just graduated from high school, who made the decision when he probably got his driver's license to become an organ donor. And if I can reach one student by going ahead and opening their minds and becoming educated about becoming an organ donor, then I've done him good. So with that being said, we do have somebody here who listened to one of our presentations and actually did her due diligence and research and everything and made that decision for herself. So I'd like to introduce to you Lyrium Cano, and she's here to tell you her story and her journey. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lyrium Cano. I am a senior and from Chula Vista High School. I would like to talk about my experience during freshman biology class when LifeSharing donation came in and presented. During the presentation, it brought up to my eyes on how a single donation could save many lives. Ever since then, it made me become one because I know I would want the same from anyone else having that privilege on saving someone's life. Thank you.
So coordinating all of this is not easy. We do go to all over San Diego is Christy, and Christy is our coordinator, mastermind behind all of this, and we'd like to go ahead and thank her for that. She specifically likes to call me and says, "We have a school at Sweetwater Union, District, and could you go?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, 100%." And we like that. We love the relationships that we have created with our teachers. And on a personal note, I'm going to tell you right now, sorry if I take too much time. I told you I'd give you the short version, but when I go to these schools, not many people get to see the progress that these schools are having as far as the maintenance and the improvements that are done to the school. I get to see that, and I thank you for that. It's wonderful to see your names that are on there, and you guys are just making these campuses wonderful. I see the work that you do because I go and talk to all these schools. I park in those parking lots. I go through all of the construction. So I thank you for that on a personal level. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a picture?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Here we go, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna get one with this one.
Yes, absolutely.
That with the thin lens? With the bazooka.
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. And again, I like what you do with the schools. It's awesome. Which was with my phone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now have a message from Superintendent Dr. Moises Aguirre.
Thank you so much, President Solis. Good evening and buenas tardes. Welcome to all. Bienvenidos to our April 20th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Education. Before beginning this evening's update, I would like to take a moment to celebrate our very own student representative, Ms. Elizabeth Flores. She was recently selected to be the student representative to the State Board of Education. So congratulations, Elizabeth. Among other things, she had an opportunity to interview with the governor's appointments office, as well as other members up of the governor's team in Sacramento. So we very much look forward to you representing all students in the state of California up at the Capitol. You are a wonderful example of the learning and the opportunities that exist within Sweetwater. And we're so honored and proud, and we know you're going to do a great job representing all students in California. So congratulations, Elizabeth. All right. And so now with our regularly scheduled update, there's a lot of activities that have happened since our last board meeting, so I'm just going to outline some of them. We had our Teacher of the Year event. We celebrate every year. Congratulations to all of our Teachers of the Year this year. I also had an opportunity to join a panel regarding the topic of anti-Semitism that was convened by the Anti-Defamation League. I want to say thank you to the ADL for being such a strong partner with us and ensuring we get information and building understanding across not just our district, but really across an entire community here in San Diego. I had an opportunity to attend a meeting for the California State University San Marcos here in Chula Vista, as CSU San Marcos is actually preparing to offer 5 degree programs in partnership with Southwestern Community College starting next year. And they're reaching out to schools within Sweetwater to begin those discussions and dialogues to ensure there's partnerships there so that our students can have access to those pathways. I also had an opportunity to present some awards at the 25-26 Sweetwater Student Art Exhibition. And this year was, just one word I can think of is wow. The quantity of art pieces and the quality of those art pieces was just amazing, and I think it really reflects the talent that is within our students and the great work that our VAPA teachers are doing. So I want to make sure I put out a note and say thank you to all of our VAPA teachers and everybody who worked to make that happen. It was beautiful. It was an amazing display of art from our students. So I just wanted to make sure I made note of that. I also had an opportunity to attend the naming of the San Ysidro High School Stadium for founding and longtime principal, Mr. Hector Espinoza. So that happened as well. I also had an opportunity to participate in a panel regarding concurrent enrollment. So that's where we partner with our community colleges as well as other four-year institutions to ensure our high school students can concurrently enroll. It was a really interesting discussion around how there's really a statewide emphasis on how we support this effort. I had an opportunity to attend the California School Boards Association annual education conference. This is the conference they put on every year. I was invited to be on their planning committee. So we're working diligently to ensure that the conference next year, which will be right here in San Diego, is relevant to the work that we do as a governance team. And there's a lot going on in that realm, both within the state of California and federally. What the state and federal government undertakes makes real significant impact on us, both good and bad. So we want to make sure we are building a quality program. I also had an opportunity to attend the UCSD Chancellor's Community Advisory Board. And that was a real interesting discussion. Talked about a number of things. One of the topics that we did touch upon was how the university and us as school districts, plural, can really support math instruction. I think that's an area of focus that's been top of mind ever since the end of the pandemic. And so there's a real robust discussion around that and how we can partner with UC San Diego to support our efforts. And I appreciate that partnership. We also had a ribbon cutting for the new stadium at Mar Vista High School, and for those of you who attended, it is a beautiful facility. I'm really proud of all the work we've been doing across the district to improve our facilities. You can really see it. You can see the improved morale and just the pride that some of these projects bring to our community. And so I want to say thank you to our planning and construction department for leading that. But it's a wonderful thing to see out in the community, to see all these projects being underway. I also had an opportunity to attend a presentation at Bonita Vista High School. It was titled The Price of Hate, Lessons from the Holocaust. I want to say a special thank you to Ms. Sandy Scheller, who presented about the experience of her mother, who was an actual survivor of the Holocaust. It really brought that experience home, and so it really made it real for our students to hear from the daughter of an actual survivor. And lastly, last week, a number of our board members and myself had an opportunity to attend the Coast to Coast advocacy trip to Washington, D.C., that is organized by the California School Boards Association in collaboration with the Association of California School Administrators. And it really highlighted that the reason that advocacy is so important is, for example, one of the topics we advocated was regarding the federal government's promise to support special education funding through the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. When the law was initially passed, the federal government made a commitment to fund up to 40% of it. If the federal government were to fund it at that level, it would essentially address our fiscal shortfall. So for context, the district currently expends approximately $100 million out of an overall general fund of approximately $500 million towards this area. It is critically important, and we provide service and support to these students who need it. But what we ask is that the federal government, in turn, help us to ensure that we are able to continue to do this work. So again, that's one of example of the areas of advocacy when we met with our local congressional delegation. We also had an opportunity to meet with California State Senator Adam Schiff to discuss this. Other areas that we advocated around were the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, as well as federal Perkins funding. Both of these sets of funding areas really support ongoing pathway development for our students, and they're usually offered in the area of career technical education. But those are just a couple of examples. There's a lot of opportunities to meet both with Capitol staff and legislators, as well as with other school board members within the state of California. And I think something that really came home is that a lot of us as school districts are really struggling or wrestling with similar issues of declining enrollment, of increasing costs, particularly in the area of special education, without the commensurate support from the federal government. And so, you know, the opportunity to discuss these topics is incredibly important and brings value. In case anybody's wondering, well, what are they doing in Washington? We're out there advocating. We're making sure our voice is heard, because every time we're out there, we're fighting to get our fair share. Because as you may know, California gives more to the federal government than we receive in return. So it's really important for us to be out there advocating so that our students can have the resources that they are entitled to. Whether the federal administration, you know, hears our message or not, it is important for us to be advocating so that our voice can be heard and our students can be supported in that way. So as you can see, there were many activities since our last board meeting, and it reflects the great work going on across the district in classrooms, extracurricular activities. The work that we do is just really the work, it's truly fulfilling, and it's really a 24/7 endeavor. So I'm really grateful to all of our staff that puts really long days in to support our students, because they truly are the next generation. So we're in this business called education, which really is the business of the future, of ensuring that our future students have the tools that they need to be successful. And so with that, I want to say gracias por la oportunidad de servir, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aguirre. We will now have a message from Ms. Elizabeth Flores, our student board representative.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start off by thanking Dr. Aguirre. I had a prediction that he would give me that shout out. But I also wanted to extend my deepest gratitude to the entirety of the Sweetwater Union High School District. I'm a product of the support and encouragement that Sweetwater teachers, advisors, fellow students, board members, etc. give to their students. If it wasn't for this position on the SUHSD board, my eyes would have never been open to the amount of advocacy possible and the importance of shaping our youth through education policy. I can't wait to continue to represent and advocate for student voices, as well as work on projects to directly improve student life on an even larger scale. On another note, last week I had the pleasure of meeting with our ASB President's Council. Several schools across our district have adopted the virtual Hall Pass Smart Pass app in an effort to promote safety by keeping record of who is leaving the classroom, while also hoping to decrease bathroom vandalism. The ASB presidents and I hope that going forward into the new school year, Smart Pass will be fully implemented on the campuses it is currently in, and hopefully within most, if not all, of our district's high schools. These past weeks, our students have been participating in CASP testing as well as prepping for AP exams. Many of our school sites host tutoring and peer tutoring before and after school in order to help our students reach their full academic potential and encourage peer-based learning. Spring sports, prom, senior sunset, and spirit weeks that lead up to these events have been the hub of student engagement lately. Montgomery High School uses the 5-Star app in order to encourage student participation through the racking of spirit points that unlock incentives. I believe that this and other methods of increasing student engagement through school spirit are not only vital to our students' experiences, but to the sense of unity we aim to build on campus. That's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. All right, we will now conduct a public hearing on the fee justification report and the proposed statutory level 1 fees and receive any oral or written comments. I will now open the public hearing. Are there any speakers?
There are no speakers.
Yes, since there's no speakers, the public hearing is now closed.
And Mr. President, may I make a brief comment with regard to the recent break that we've had and all that we've accomplished? I just wanted to say thank you to students who have revived our voter registration drive here in the Sweetwater District.
You have time for that on F3?
Okay, and we've are reviving our CPR AED training program as well, and I could
Perfect.
Elaborate a little bit later on.
Excellent, thank
Okay.
you. We're good?
The public hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we closed the public hearing. Public hearing is now closed. All right, this is the point of the agenda where members of the public may address the board on any matter not on the agenda and have 3 minutes each to do so. Pursuant to board bylaw, the board may limit the time for public comment on any single topic to 20 minutes per topic. The Board of Trustees cannot legally take action on or respond to matters not posted on the public agenda, but will refer the matter to the superintendent's office for review and report. Speakers shall refrain from shall speak in a respectful manner. Thank you for your cooperation.
Matias Garcia.
To our clerk, please.
Right here. Yes, thank you.
Board, the reason I'm here is because I live on Van Ness Avenue in Nashville City.
If you want to lift up your mic, perfect. Thank
Is
you.
that better?
Excellent.
Okay. Give me back 7 seconds.
You got him. You got him. You're good.
Okay, the reason I'm here is because I live on the street adjoining Granger Junior High School on its east side called Van Ness Avenue. You have a gym project that's going in there. It's quite large. And the reason I'm here to speak on this is because that the gym covers up areas that are seen, our view of downtown San Diego is what you've done. Now, I've lived in the neighborhood since I was 5 years old, and about 1965 or 1966, a racquetball wall was built right in front of those homes that was 72 yards long. Now, the gym, adding that to the gym, is another 65 yards. So you've blocked off the view of all those homes for 137 yards. That does not include the, past boards allowed that library to be built, and it's quite high. And it's not a very attractive building. But the problem you have is you're blocking off the view of our street to everywhere. And those photographs, if you look at them, will show you what I'm talking about. So I have a modest proposal for you. A la Swift. Tear down the racquetball wall. Number one. Number two, figure out every time you do a construction that you go look at where you're placing your buildings and everything else that you won't obstruct view, mess up parking, traffic, all that kind of stuff that's around those schools. Because what you've essentially done is destroy our view of the west. And all those photographs I have there will demonstrate clearly what I'm talking about. Okay? If you have any questions, I don't know if you have any questions regarding this matter. I'll answer them if I can.
We're just listening to you, and we can get back to you, like an email or anything.
Okay, we need to tear down that racquetball wall in order to make up the fact that all the other constructions that have been done, the current one, which is the brand-new gym at Granger Junior High, and the library that was built there. And that racquetball wall that's 72 yards long. Like I said, the total yardage that you've blocked off from our street is 137 yards. That's significant. I'm sure that all of you would be upset if any agency of government or anybody else would do that to you. That you have lots that can see all the way out to the ocean, and now they're all cut off from view. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Jennifer Shafron?
Members of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent, my name is Jennifer Shafran. I'm a high school English teacher and ELD teacher at Sweetwater High School. I am here tonight to speak on behalf of our students, our colleagues, and the integrity of public education in this district. I urge this board and the superintendent to reconsider the proposed reduction of our school librarians from their full-time positions, a decision that would force our libraries to close for 2 or more periods every school day. The library is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. For my English language learners, the library is one of the most critical resources on our campus. These students are simultaneously developing language proficiency while mastering grade-level academic content, a dual challenge that demands access to level text, reference materials, quiet study space, and most importantly, a trained library professional who can guide them. When the library is closed, that access disappears. There is no substitute. Our librarians do far more than check out books. They teach research skills and information literacy, curate diverse, multilingual, and accessible collections that reflect the lives of our students, provide individualized support to our students who struggle to navigate academic, English, and digital resources, collaborate with classroom teachers to design curriculum-aligned research projects, offer a safe, structured environment for students who need a quiet place to focus during non-instructional periods, and support English language learners in building academic vocabulary and comprehension through access to print and digital resources. The impact on English language learners is disproportionate. Sweetwater Union School District serves a large population of English language learners. These students are among our most vulnerable. They often lack the academic resource at home their English proficient peers may take for granted. The school library and the trained librarian staffing it may be the only place they can access grade-appropriate text, research tools, and personal academic guidance. Reducing librarian hours creates an inequitable, two-tiered system students with resources at home will manage, while our under-resourced students, many of them English learner students, will experience poverty, or students with reliable internet at home will be left without critical support. This directly undermines the district's stated commitments to equity and closing the achievement gap and putting students first. Librarians are already doing 2 jobs, so proposing a third is not a solution. I've spoken with other librarian colleagues around the district, and I want to address directly one proposal that has been suggested as a workaround: assigning libraries to serve simultaneously as attendance coordinators or other administrative roles during their library hours, effectively asking one person to perform 2 jobs at once while being compensated for only one. This proposal is not a creative solution. It is an unfounded mandate that undermines both roles. Attendance coordinator requires focused attention. It is a compliance-driven, time-sensitive responsibility that directly affects student records, legal reporting obligations, and family communication. It cannot be performed as a background task while simultaneously managing a library full of students. To suggest otherwise disrespects both positions, and most importantly, the students depending on them. I'll just wrap up real quick.
Please.
Our students, particularly those still developing their English proficiency, deserves a school environment that is fully resourced every period of every day. They deserve librarians who know them, who can help them find the right book, navigate a database, or simply feel that their school believes in them enough to keep its doors open. Please do not close the doors. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Lucy Ugarte?
Good evening, President Solis, trustees, and Dr. Aguirre. Lucy Ugarte, President, Sweetwater Education Association. As always, I want to thank you for being receptive to my outreach and communication regarding SEA matters. Next week, the Community Schools Collaborative, in which all school districts and labor partners in the South Bay from National City, Chula Vista, San Isidro, and Imperial Beach will hold another summit, this time hosted by South Bay Union School District, NIB, at Burris Auditorium on April 29th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll be we'll be hosting. It would be great if you could all stop by and see the work that is being done collaboratively with our feeder districts and with our community partners to support our students, family, and communities throughout the South Bay. We've worked really hard in the 3 years that we began with the grant. We started off with the planning grant, and we have been working with the implementation grant this year, and we are a novelty. We're going to be presenting at the community schools national stage, and we are the only ones that we know of who came together on our own and formed this collaborative as the South Bay on our own to work together to bring together the resources, and are doing this so that we are forming our own community and our own support system. So it would be great if you come by. CTA is sending their press, and we are probably going to have a press release, and so it would be great if you came out. And we hosted back in the fall when we started, and this time South Bay is going to be the host. And so we look forward to seeing you on the 29th. Next month, SEA plans to come before you with our Sunshine Reopener for the 26-27 school year. Our leadership and bargaining team have been collecting data from our membership, and we will be working together to determine the articles to open that will best support our members, and we look forward to presenting that to you at the next board meeting. And finally, we will have our last day of action in coordination with all of our sibling associations in the South Bay, celebrating May Day on May 1st by wearing our association black because we have each other's back. Feel free to join in with all the labor associations across the United States in celebrating the true Labor Day on May 1st, May Day, by wearing black. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further speakers.
Clerk of the board, will you please read the items being pulled from the consent agenda?
The following items are pulled: F3 by staff, F4 by Mr. Lopez and Ms. Lopez Zepeda, G11 by staff, H4 by staff, and K8 by the public.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Flores?
Yes.
Arencibia?
Yes.
Emerald? Yes. Lopez?
Yes.
Lopez Zepeda?
Yes.
Solis?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, go to F3, report on board requests for information and policy direction to staff and board communication. Ms. Emerald, would you like to start us off?
Well, thank you. I just about got it all out, and I know I'm always kind of trying to fit in where I don't belong there. But it's going to be a very exciting time with our youngsters, and we want to make sure that they're all welcome and in the classroom when everybody is back in school. And but I kind of threw it out there already, so just so you know. We did have a great time in Washington, D.C., an opportunity to speak with some of our electeds, let them know what's on our minds, and hopefully it will sink in a little bit, and we'll see more resources coming in, more ideas to help make our community a safer and healthier place to be. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? F3?
F3? Okay, F3 has been a really busy time. There was spring break, and then there was a whole bunch of little things to attend. Teacher of the Year celebration, the Art Exhibition Awards, Mar Vista Athletic Field, ribbon cutting, CSBA Coast to Coast, and Saturday, Adelante Mujer. Just popping in here and there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? I just wanted to see, I missed the gentleman's name, is Mr. Garcia, is that right? Or-
Yes.
Okay, if we, Ms. Quirk, if we could look into about knocking it down. Awesome, thank you. No. Ms. Quirk, she'll take care of, she'll communicate with us about what you came and told us about. Okay. Okay, with that, we'll move on to F4. Ms. Lopez-Peda or Mr. Lopez?
Thank you, Mr. President. Usually when you do a group project, there's one guy that doesn't do anything, but in this case, Dr. Aguirre did the homework for us. But I just wanted to add on to the report out. He did focus on one of our 4 focus items. When we go to Washington, we have very limited time to meet with our representatives. Like he mentioned, we did get a chance to get in with Senator Schiff, which the senators are usually elusive. So we had 4 focus areas this year. One of them was the role of AI in education, both at the staff level and for students. I mean, there's 2 different points of view when it comes to AI, so we were urging our congressional delegation to work with us in how we're going to address AI. The next one was on children's online, on supporting the Children's Online Safety Act, strengthening their online safety and their privacy, and in the same realm is broadening mental health programs for our children. Third, we mentioned at CTE, and we've got our group here, to increase the Perkins funding as it relates to CTE and workforce education. And as Dr. Aguirre mentioned, we're there always fighting for increase in federal appropriations for public education, but especially when it comes to the IDEA Act and special education. We also snuck in a conversation that does have a tie into public education, and that was do something about the Tijuana River Valley. Mm-hmm. And then for those of you wondering what do we get out of it, some of our past efforts have 2 years ago we focused on child nutrition, and we were able to protect eligibility thresholds for school meal programs. So that's one of the things that we got out of it. And then we've also helped to close the digital divide and provide funding for devices and connectivity. And then tonight, we just passed item 010, which is a resolution that in support of our latest efforts statewide, and that's for closing the achievement gap. So, Ms. Lopez-Cepeda, do you have something to add?
No. No. That was an excellent report. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Aguirre and Trustee Lopez.
Thank you. Yes, and I did want to add, we the first year, I can't remember the years, everything, that we went, we did get $100,000 from Ms. Jacobs, Assemblymember Jacobs, for after-school funding, because we had lost it. So it's a great place to do that. So thank you. All right, move on to G11, a report on and approved Prop 28 funds for the 25-26 school year.
All right, thank you for that, President Solis. On this item, I'm going to be asking Ms. Elaine Elefante-Liano to come up and make this presentation. Again, I think we saw a lot of evidence of all the good stuff going on with Prop 28, but we have a presentation. So Ms. Elefante-Liano.
Good evening, President Solis, members of the board, Dr. Aguirre. It's really a pleasure to be back here after 7 years of retirement. I do have to do a big shout out that your 5 teachers of the year were CTE and VAPA. Yay. So it was really neat to come back and have that happen. And I do just want to say Rachel Tsai is an ELD teacher, but she's working on her dance credential. She has it now?
She's going to be a dance teacher next year.
Yes, I know, but I don't know if she has it
yeah,
yet.
She passed.
She passed. Okay, great. So I'm just so thrilled to step back into this role. The added role is VAPA, and so I've had to become a quick study of VAPA, but no worries, because I have 2 incredible of my VAPA staff, Andrea Courier and Debbie Nevin. And Andrea is our program manager, and Debbie Nevin is our teacher on special assignment for representing the VAPA. So let me give you an update of where we are with Prop 28. So hopefully we know Prop 28, why it matters, because it provides the dedicated funding to arts and music education. It also is helping us to expand our student access to all of our art programs. And also, it supports our engagement in creativity and academic outcomes. And so with that, I'm going to turn this over to Andrea to finish off our slides. She really is the voice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Courier, and I'm the VAPA Program Manager for our district. I am going to begin with our presentation on student impact and how Proposition 28 has impacted our students. The very first thing, it has enhanced logistics. We have expanded transportation provisions for art-related travel, for performances, for competitions and workshops. While our classes are by nature experiential, meaning that they're hands-on, it has increased the rigor, the breadth, and the depth of our art programs as seen at our sites, as well as our district events. It has increased performances as well as exhibitions. It broadens the scope of those, as well as builds or promotes positive school culture and climate. With adding offerings for at our sites, we also has offered us the opportunity at the district to have 2 additional district events. One that recently happened at Southwestern College. It was a drama fest. So 6 of our drama programs participated in collaboration with Southwestern College in an event where our students got on stage and they performed their skits, and they had 3 professional experts give immediate feedback. We also have an upcoming District Jazz Day on May 15th at Montgomery High School, where 9 of our performing groups will be performing, and we do have a special guest. The Coast Guard Beacon Jazz Ensemble will also be performing, in addition to working with our students. And all this has been helped
You get
with.
the funding.
Thank you.
You said the magic word.
And all this was because of our efforts at our school sites with using Prop 28. It has, sorry? I was going to say, that was May 15th? Yes, so May 15th is our District Jazz Day, Montgomery High School. And that begins at 3. For families, and 6 p.m. The Coast Guard will be performing as well. With the progress review, so we have had several meetings. School sites have funded meetings out of Prop 28 for their teachers, RAPA teachers, to plan on how to utilize these funds. We have also had our own VAPA leads meetings, so each of the committees by discipline elected 1 person to come to our meetings where we discuss program baselines, we discuss how to best leverage Prop 28 funds, and we also have been in discussions of creating and introducing VAPA pathways as well. So that the efforts of Prop 28 have been assisted with that as well. We had one major pullout for all VAPA teachers where we focused on instructional strategies, and again, Prop 28 was a major part of that presentation in addressing how best to use those funds. Myself and our program manager have attended the San Diego County Arts Leaders monthly meetings where VAPA leadership across the district are present. And the purpose of these meetings is to discuss and collaborate with other programs across our county, especially with Proposition 28 implementation. We have also developed and updated our site budget tool. We've had 2 meetings with principals. The first to fix the budget tool so that it reflects a 50-50. The way the Proposition 28 is written, it's an 80% for staffing and 20% for supplies. However, we did put in a waiver to get that 50-50 funding for the first 2 years. So the first meeting with principals was to discuss how we were going to fix that 50-50 so they can best utilize their funds. And the second meeting with principals was to update the tool so that it is a more comprehensive tool that they can use going forward. Us in our office, we provide our phone numbers and our email addresses to anyone and everyone that needs any help or support Proposition 28 or VAPA. And once hopefully this is approved, we will be asking for that 50-50 waiver, as that has greatly helped our schools utilize the funding as needed. It has also helped increase equipment and supplies through our programs across our district. For music, the students have been able to be provided more additional instrumentation, and larger specialized program assets have been acquired. For example, acoustical shells, choir risers, and uniforms for music programs. For dance programs, we have been able to purchase additional professional attire and essential travel essentials. For visual arts and ceramics, comprehensive art supplies have been purchased, as well as consumables and heavy equipment. We have purchased 2 kilns for 2 of our districts with Prop 28 funding. For our media arts classrooms, they have upgraded cameras as well to help with storytelling and photography, and some infrastructure that we have updated with Prop 28 funds includes some curtains and some movable mirrors for our dancers to be able to self-assess and learn from each other. Now, before I move on to the next slide, I do want to take a pause to thank our VAPA teachers, our site administrators, and our administrative assistants for the work that they put in towards implementing Prop 28. Prop 28 is site-based, and they are doing a lot of the work. We know that it hasn't been simple work, and it has required a lot of coordination, problem solving, and willingness to build something new while continuing to meet the day-to-day needs of the students and community. So because of their efforts, we want to extend our deepest gratitude and make sure that you're all aware that they're greatly impacting our students' access to the arts. With that being said, any questions?
Any questions from the board? Or comments?
Thank you.
That's the important thing, because this is a real opportunity. I want to make sure that this really please continue the good work. I just want to make sure that this opportunity doesn't go like unrealized, in the sense of like that we have access to arts for all of our students across the district and everything that we acquire at every school, that we have the capacity to be able to work with theater and music. I think this is really transformative as a program, so please keep up the great work.
A comment or question, are we looking towards sustainability?
Yes.
So that we, asking for funds, this is why we do what we do when we advocate. We don't know if they'll be there forever, so we want to sustain what's already in place, and what's already in place is wonderful. So sustainability would be my focus or concern at this time.
Yeah, thank you. And for me, I just want to say thank you for your patience for all of those who were patiently awaiting the rollout of this process. It was, again, it took a little bit for the state to provide the guidance to those of us in schools. But now we definitely see the evidence that it's making a difference. And really looking forward to the program growing and the number of pieces that we see, the different variety and diversity of experiences. I think it's amazing to see that we're offering those opportunities for our students, so thank you.
Can I just add something?
Absolutely.
I just want to thank Dr. Saukout's office, because working with finance and with all the sites being that intermediary has been challenging for the sites, but I just want to say how fortunate we are for her department in supporting us.
Yes, and I believe that picture is in the Capitol, right, on the bottom right, by our Chula Vista student. I was looking for the picture that I took of the picture, but very impressive. So it'll be up for a year, and that amazing. So great work. Yes, Capitol building. Yes, I was looking for it, but too many.
I mean, one of the things that a community member, unbeknownst to me, that I've been friends with 40 years, is very, very active in the community, came up to me, and she said, Adrian, what are you guys doing over at Sweetwater with regards to this mariachi? And I'm like, what did we do wrong? In my mind, I'm like, deficient model and everything. And she goes, and I go, what did we do wrong? No, you guys didn't do anything wrong, because this is amazing. Amazing with regards to the ballet folklorico and the mariachis. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I've never seen a high school district ever produce this kind of, and I've been all around the United States. I've never ever seen anything like this. This is like actually like nationally at that level. And I'm like, for real? And she goes like, yeah, and I said, well, I'll make sure that folks know, and it's really, that's a testament to our work, right? And that's what I want to make sure that everybody understands. It's between the ballet folklorico, between the mariachi groups. I think one of the things that we don't understand, we don't see it, and honestly, I'm gonna say it, for the kids that don't have sports, it's their place to be able to feel a part of the community. For the kids that aren't traditional in the participant, that's where they go to work on tech features and stuff like that. So this is their moment to shine, and it's also their harbor and their safety. So I just want to say thank you for the work again.
Thank you.
We do need a motion to approve the funds, Prop 28
So moved.
funds.
We have a motion and a second.
Flores?
Yes.
Arencibia? Emerald?
Yes.
Lopez?
Yes.
Lopez Zepeda?
Yes.
Solis?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Oh, yes, and, yeah, the student's name is Dalia Anaya. I found the picture of the picture. So, thank you. Yes, yes.
Go Coast Guard.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to move on to H4, Report on Formative Assessment Program. Dr. Aguirre?
Yes, thank you for that, President Solis. On this item, Dr. Winters will be presenting an update on the implementation of the formative platform. I also am aware that our last meeting last month, there were some questions raised, so throughout this process and at the end, I will make a comment on that. But for now, I'll ask Dr. Winters to go ahead and provide our formative platform update. Dr. Winters.
Thank you, Dr. Aguirre. Good evening, President Solis and members of the board. It's my pleasure to present to you some information about the formative platform and give you a background on why we purchased it and some progress on how it's been implemented. So I want to begin by reminding you that the board approved this platform in spring of 2024. It basically took over for the Illuminate platform which we used for assessment previously. And so let's go tell that story. But first, I want to talk about ed tech tools in general. The relationship between ed tech tools and school districts is a complicated relationship for a couple reasons. One of that is there's often a mismatch between the goals of the ed tech company and the goals of the district. And the goal is to make those match as much as we can. There's a little bit of hype in ed tech, you may have noticed, and the reality doesn't always match. There's often more heat than light. And in the end, when we make decisions in Sweetwater, it's about trade-offs. We seek to get the most value as we can from the goals that we have. And you'll see in the choices that we've made, there are some trade-offs. The previous platform did some things better than this one. However, given the goals I'm going to share with you, we believe this platform has met those goals and more. So I want to start with why we chose formative and begin with that criteria. It all begins with instruction. What you see here is our Sweetwater instructional goal. We've held on to this goal for 3 years, and we've provided a lot of resources in classroom practice, learning walks, assessment tools to support this. And our goal was to provide a platform that would continue to support quality instruction in Sweetwater. So here are really 4 criteria that we looked at, and from left to right, they're in criteria in terms of priority order. So those top 3 on the left were primary. It had to be an instructional tool that we could use in the classroom every day. It had to support formative assessment. Research and education, there's a lot of things that it has never proved, but one thing that's really clear is that formative assessment is one of the most powerful instructional practices that can happen, which means kids get feedback on their learning in the moment, and they get feedback right away on what to do next. And so we needed a tool that could support that. We wanted to make sure it could do data analysis in a PLC, not just individual data for one teacher. And so a program like Jupyter, which does some things very well, like grades and communication, it doesn't have that ability to do PLC data innately. And finally, we wanted to make sure that it could administer our EOCs. And that was the secondary goal, but we found that formative met the top 3 very well and was adequate for the 4th. You've heard about some security issues with this platform. And so the lockdown browser, I'm going to go into some details about what's been a problem with the lockdown browser. It has some issues for sure. And the question is, well, that must mean students are cheating a lot more on Formative than they did on Illuminate. And the evidence doesn't support that. This is a comparison of the last 2 years of Illuminate EOC, or end of course exam, pass rate, versus the first 2 years of Formative. There's a 3% increase across the board, but that average hides kind of the details. And the details are such that in our content areas, language arts, math, science, and social science, some areas got better, some got worse. And so another factor that really played a bigger role was that we revise those tests every year, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. And often when we revise the test significantly, the scores will go down. So the platform itself doesn't show evidence that kids started cheating a lot more. So that's one thing. Now let's go into the lockdown browser, which was raised as having concerns, and indeed there are some issues with the lockdown browser. It has some vulnerabilities, but the formative platform has helped us close some of those, and there are clear guidance on how to administer the test, in a safe way. So if all teachers are given clear guidance and they follow these directions, it's not easy, but it's not impossible to keep kids from cheating. For example, you have to create a password for entry, and the minute you start the test, teachers are told to change that password. Why do you do that? Because they found some kids have learned how to swipe out of the assessment and go onto the internet, which would be a way to cheat. If you change the password once the test starts, the kid can't get back into the test without going to the teacher and asking for that password. And so if every teacher follows this guidance, one, they will not be able to get back in without going to the teacher and explaining how they got out. Secondly, you heard a teacher here talk about how he knows kids are cheating when he went back and looked at the back and saw their screens, and if he was in front of the class, he couldn't tell. Well, I think setting up a classroom environment, every teacher knows that if they're giving a test on screens, you should put yourself in a position where you can see the screen. So simple common sense things like setting up the classroom environment will help mitigate for cheatings. And the last thing is that they just recently this week fixed another vulnerability, which was that it was possible for two kids to be on different devices at the same time on that same test. So unbeknownst to them, they figured this out. So a kid could have their cousin at home on the test logged in and working on the test while they were in the classroom. They've since just fixed that problem, so only one device can get on at any one time. So let's talk then about some of the issues that were raised, but what has been the return of investment for this product in the classroom? And I mentioned the main goal was instructional improvement. Here's just some data points to show usage rates. One thing I found, it's really hard to get any product that all teachers will use regularly, and they'll only use it if it's useful. And so you can see there's a ton of usage, and from year 1 to year 2, those increases, like look at the student responses, went from 9 million student responses to 13 million at a similar point from this year to last year. So in every case, we see that teachers are using it more this year than last year. And this slide shows you again the number of active students and teachers is nearly every one that we have in the district. And the lockdown browser is being used successfully, not just in EOCs, but across the board. In the bottom corner, there are these Luna added content. So it does have an AI component that it's sort of in beta, as everything in AI is in beta, but it does allow teachers to create assessments that are common to ones they already have, so they can create more in a readily easy manner, and they're high quality assessments. So usage is definitely strong, including our EOC exams. Despite the issues that I raised with you earlier, we gave over 100,000 exams in a little over 2 weeks. And so we see the platform was successful in administering those exams, which was one of our criteria. So when we gave assessment or a survey last spring after year 1, we asked teachers what were the greatest needs. The biggest thing they said is more and more training. And so we have done a lot of training. That person floating up there on the top of that slide is the mighty Essie Orozco, our assessmentosa. All credit goes to her and the team that she's compiled to do these trainings. You can see a list of schools and departments that she has personally trained and the areas that she has been focusing on. The assessment map, I'd love to talk more about that, but I'll say briefly that it's a tool that she has created. That is where we compile all the many assessments we have that's readily available to any teacher. And one of the goals, and a goal that she's making progress on, is to create common assessments that can be shared. So for example, you have a common assessment in Integrated Math 1 that is a high quality assessment. It goes through a process that gets vetted and reviewed by other teachers. That gets put in the formative platform in Integrated Math 1. Any teacher can use that assessment. It's high quality, it meets the standards of that course. It's not left to the decision of a teacher across the district to decide on their own what the quality is, but it's vetted. High quality could lead to higher student learning. So kudos to Ms. Orozco. Some of the events she's put on have been these full day assessments. In the 2 years, she's done 6 of those. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah,
please.
So going back to the last slide, I just want to talk about that. So the assessment map, for me, it seems like we're creating coherence all the way across the district with regards to how we do formative assessment, and so that we won't have discrepancies between Granger and Hilltop Middle and Eastlake Middle, right? We should
100%.
be able to see where students are at and actually be able to gather data to be able to plot where the weaker points of each site is, correct?
100%. Coherence is a really good word to address that. And one of the reasons why recently we changed our stance with end of course exams, we just now went back starting this spring to have common end of course exams in every course. Previously, we gave some choice from schools, and we found, we did some analysis of some of those assessments, there was a variety of standards being addressed. And that's, of course, the nature when you give that much choice. So we want to make sure the standards are clear and it's consistent across the district. So the expectations at Granger are the same at Bonita Vista and Eastlake, et cetera.
That's music to my ears. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm not even doing VAPA and music to your ears. Good, I'm glad. So at least 800 teachers have received face-to-face training, and many more have received tools to support them in using the platform. We'll continue to do more. As you saw, some of the sites and departments that Ms. Orozco has trained. And I think a key point I want to lean in is not just been Ms. Orozco. She's found teachers who are using it. When she's done these all-day trainings, she's brought in Sweetwater experts who have been experts in the platform and have trained other Sweetwater teachers. Here's some of the feedback she's gotten from those trainings. I want to lean into a couple things there. Platform integration. Teachers know one of the biggest pains is if you've got to do your grades in Jupyter and then you give a test in another platform. This one does allow for that grade passback to occur, so they don't have to re-enter it in Jupyter or Google Classroom, where most of our schools do their grades, but it is an automatic integration between Formative and the grading platforms. And the learning from experts. Again, many teachers in Sweetwater have taken up the charge to become experts on this, and they're training their colleagues. So where do we go next? We want to continue to lean in on training. We know this needs constant support and maintenance for the expertise of using the platform for the purpose we've intended. And really lean into collaboration. We want to create more and more of these shared assessments with that assessment map so that the expectations across our district are clear and teachers and students can meet those expectations. And I'm going to finally show you from a few teachers their perspective on they've used. This is 3 teachers from Southwest High, 1 minute each, about how they've used it. They're from 3 different departments, 3 different levels of their career. It's kind of nice to see this. My favorite is the last one because it's Steve Selland, who is a 40-plus year teacher in Sweetwater. I know Steve because when I first got here, I coached basketball, and he would beat me every year in basketball as a basketball coach. But here he is, 40 years later. You're going to see him. He's still coaching. He's still teaching. He's still learning new platforms, and he's going to show you how it even impacted his teaching. So let's hear from those 3 teachers right now.
One more time.
I did the right button. Good.
Hi, my name is Victor Rodriguez. I teach biology, human anatomy, and AP environmental science at Southwest High School. Formative has become part of my instructional toolkit because it's a great way to assess our students' level of understanding. Right now, we're developing progress checkpoints, which are quick, 5 to 7 question formative assessments that give our students an opportunity to share what they've learned in a variety of ways, whether it's a multiple choice question, a question that asks them to analyze data, or even a short answer rubric-based question. It's made me a more reflective teacher in a variety of ways. First, with my own students, I can quickly identify misconceptions, identify areas of need so that I can modify my instruction and provide the proper scaffold and support. And 2, with our PLC, because our progress checkpoints are common, when we come to collaborate, we have a common set of data to discuss so that we can share best practices and even design targeted Tier 2 interventions. And finally, if you haven't given Formative a shot, try it out. You'll be surprised at what you'll learn and how it can become part of your classroom instruction.
Hello, my name is Jessica Figueroa, otherwise known as Ms. Figueroa, and I currently teach English Language Development, ELD, levels 2, 3, and 4. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Formative has supported my English learners. So I decided to embrace Formative as one of my instructional toolkits because of all the cool features it has. For example, I'm going to be mentioning how I specifically used it to prepare for the LPAC. On Formative, I did not know that it has this feature where you could speak into a microphone and it records an audio for you where you can save it. Formative does a great job in supporting the 4 domains that my students must master, which are reading, listening, writing, and speaking in English. For listening, Formative had an amazing feature where they can listen to the audio recording and then type out exactly what they heard, and it's on lockdown browser, so they can't cheat. For speaking, I really like the speaking portion. They would record themselves based on what the question asked. The questions would be, describe what's going on here, describe what's going on the table, what objects are on the table, blah, blah, blah. Students would then record themselves giving detail. I would then play it back and listen to it and see what words are mispronounced, what my students are not properly including when doing the speaking portion, because for the LPAC, I asked the tester what exactly are students expecting and how can I modify that into my instruction, which is why I use Formative. So based on the speaking portion, I would listen to the audios and then I would know, okay, I have this class that cannot pronounce these set of words, and then I have this class that is not giving enough detail. Therefore, in the next day, I need to modify my instruction and let students know what to expect when they are speaking and giving detail. I would go over certain words that I heard that they were mispronouncing. As for the reading,
She had a lot to say, but we had time. Last but not least.
Hi, my name is Mr. Sellen. I teach government here at Southwest High. I was introduced to Formative this past year, and I've really embraced it. It started out simply with my assessments, which I found to be easier than what we used to have. But then I was able to actually make some lesson plans and do things I hadn't done before. And not just multiple choice questions or things like that, but for instance, writing. And I could get kids to write paragraphs on Formative much better than I could on a piece of paper. And I found that to be very positive. I was also able to use illustrations and add things, and it was relatively easy for me once I learned how to do it. And the kids liked it, and of course I liked it as well, even to the point of where it somewhat grades some of the writings with colors, green, yellow, orange, red. It's not a perfect system. I haven't mastered everything yet, but I have found it to be very helpful for me. And it has not been that difficult. Was I apprehensive? Maybe a little at first, but I haven't really had too many problems with it, and it has added a lot and helped me and given me new things to do, which we're always looking forward to do as a teacher. So it's been good for me.
So in summary, Formative is definitely not perfect, but it has substantially met the goals that we laid out for you in terms of instruction and assessment. The training has been key, and we'll continue to do that training in the years to come, especially through the leadership of Ms. Orozco Tosa. But I want to say a few words about our partners, Formative, they're also known as Newsella. They've really been a great partner. They benefit from doing things well for us. We pay them well. But they have come to our district several times with their engineers, actually going to classrooms to find out what the problems are. You heard the folks who had criticisms here say they gave their cell phones to those gentlemen so they could find out what didn't work for them and try and resolve those issues as best they could. So they have been a really great partner with that. They've been very responsive to our needs. And so finally, I'll say that entertain all your questions. I do appreciate the perspective of those who don't find this useful, and hearing from others makes us better. We have listened and carefully tried to modify it where we could. I will say that one disagreement, well, in high school government, I had a teacher, Nate Wallace, who taught me we should agree to disagree, and that's kind of been our stance. Unfortunately, one of the people who disagreed with us insinuated that the only reason we could have picked it because we had different opinions was because someone here was getting financial benefit from that, which is both outlandish and insulting. And so everyone who has been involved in this decision, myself and anybody else, has been there to help support teachers and students learn, and we believe that platform has helped us along that road. So I'd be glad to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
I do have a comment.
Lopez.
As a classroom teacher, whenever there was something new on the table, it took 3 to 5 years for it to really, really take hold and really see the benefit. And I'm hoping that we stay the course and make sure that we continue to provide the training, because the professional development is what's going to engage the teachers. I know that helped me.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez-Peda. Dr. Aguirre?
If I may, thank you so much. I just want to kind of follow up on the comment that Dr. Winters just made, because it's too easy to launch specious allegations nowadays. I understand that's what happens. That's not what we are about. We have demonstrated over and over that we are willing and able to receive criticism, constructive or otherwise. But to launch specious conspiracy theories and innuendo really is beyond the pale. You can bring your criticisms. We've all had technology adoptions that we've hated, and I'm included in that. But to bring ad hominem personal attacks, when Dr. Winters and his team have been working diligently, one thing is for you not to agree or appreciate the platform, and others to be here and then launch these types of ad hominems. And I personally find that objectionable. And I'm just going to say, do better, be better. Those that came. There's way too much of all this conspiracy mongering nowadays, and we should be leading the efforts to not do that. So I'm just going to be saying that comment for what it is. I want to say thank you to Dr. Winters and his team for leading that. And again, we understand that everybody's going to appreciate this platform. You may hate it. You can come and tell us you hate it, but that's one thing. To then cross a line and launch conspiracy theories is beyond the pale. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that so that Dr. Winters and his team know that we appreciate the hard work that's gone in, whether folks like it or not.
Could I make a
Thank
brief
you, Dr.
comment?
Aguilar.
Is that
Yes.
okay with you? Yeah,
Ms. Emmer.
actually, it sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to be in a classroom where you're rolling this stuff out and watching the kids like get it, the light come on, and an old person like me actually being able to learn something new as well. So it sounds like really exciting learning that's going to be happening in the classrooms. And thank you for all your hard work in making this happen.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Dr. Winters, thank you for this report. I appreciate you bringing it forward and explaining the other side. So thank you. With that, meeting adjourned.
Oh, no, sir, we have,
Oh, adjourned. Sorry.
please take that back.
Take it back. Thank you, thank you. I take that back. K4, thank you.
K8,
8.
thank you. Yes, I have one speaker, Jaime Vasquez Jr.
Did I cross it out? Oh, that's right, the public.
Is he not here? Oh.
I didn't circle it dark enough.
No, just start speaking.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jaime Vasquez Jr. I am the servicing labor rep for CSEA here at Sweetwater. I represent your OTBS, OSS, and para units. And I'm here today to speak on this item. I'm just here to provide you with some information that you may not have. I just thought it was concerning to see this item placed for the board to vote on while the unit has not ratified it. Absent a ratified agreement, I think implementation could be considered an unfair practice. If the district were to opt to pursue unilaterally contracting this work, the association would respond with the appropriate recourse to defend our members. So we just really wanted you to have that information. It has not been ratified, and we wanted to let you have that information. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carbuccio?
Yes, thank you. As you'll note, this is not going to be a CSEA placement because we have taken it to the bargaining unit multiple times. We've approached them 3 times. They have, at the table, reached agreement with us and then taken it to their members, and their members have chosen twice to vote it down. Therefore, they have not ratified it. Under California law, we have an obligation to first offer the position to CSEA for any classified, well, for us, because we are represented by CSEA, to take it to CSEA first. They have declined it twice. Their members have voted it down twice. Therefore, we have met our obligation to meet with CSEA and offer it to them, and they have declined by voting it down twice. So we have completed the bargaining process. It's not as though we're imposing, because they were given an opportunity and they chose not to. At any given point, when CSEA asks us to put this into the contract as a job that is theirs, at a proper reopener time, that's absolutely something that would now be subject to bargaining. But we have already attempted to bargain this in good faith multiple times with CSEA and their previous labor reps. Because OTBS is a unit, I mean, we work with all of our units closely, but before we ever even moved this, they gave us edits. We took the edits. We came to the table. They agreed. We then brought it to you before so that you could take action on it. Then CSEA didn't ratify. So then we went back to the table. We said, please provide us edits. They were unable to provide edits that their members would actually approve. The members voted it down again. So this is not a case where we are just unilaterally imposing something. We have followed the law as it relates to this. But again, welcome CSEA once we reopen to ask to have this added to their unit. This is absolutely work that we wanted and continue to want CSEA members to perform. And we will use their job, their salary schedule to pay in anticipation of a day when they ask us to put this in Article 2 recognition, when the Article 2 recognition is open.
Thank you, Ms. Carbuccio. Entertain a motion?
Second.
Oh. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Did you have a comment?
I was wondering if I could speak on that.
No?
Yeah, I think we're
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Flores?
Yes.
Arencibia? Emerald?
Yes.
Lopez?
Yes.
Lopez Cepeda?
Yes.
Solis?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, now. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Now you can adjourn. Thank you.